Good Monday afternoon. I did not expect to be making a video this soon after last week, but we went through a whole lot of information today, and I'd rather go ahead and talk about it while it's on my mind than try to wait till Friday and remember everything I said. So we continued with place value today. We started off by remembering from last week when we talked about the calculator. When we turned on the calculator, it came on with the number 0, or the digit 0, as we described it. As we added 1, it became 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We used all the digits in that one space. After that space had gone through all the digits, when we get one more, we get 10, which causes us to have another place. So we have 1 in this space, but then this space can't just be empty. It's got to be replaced, or it's got to be filled with a 0. So we have 1 in the tens place, we have 0 in the ones place. As we counted by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, we once again went through the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in this one, while this ones place stayed 0. Once we got to 90, we go to 99, and then we add another, which gives us a third place to work with. So now we've got a 1 in here, we've got a 0 and a 0 holding these places. If you just have a 1, it's just a 1, and they are testing the fire alarm. That's convenient. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna keep going because I want to go home. So we have a ones place, tens place, hundreds place. We keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100 in here. Zeros in these places. We now have our thousands place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here, but it's 1,000 because these 3 are being held by 0. We keep going, 9,000 up to 10,000. We have a 1 here, 0, 0, 0, 0. So 1 with 0 or 4 zeros, we have 10,000. Then we continued, and we had 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we have 1 here. These are held in with zeros. We have 100,000. And then we have our final space for 4th grade. So we have 7 place values to work with. Going up to the million. So our highest number we would work with is 9,999,999. Obviously, we would put commas in here, but that's not necessarily what I wanted to do with this today. So after we reviewed that this morning, we went on and we kind of talked about the same thing, but from a numerical standpoint and a word form standpoint. So I said, we saw a 1, and we write that as 1, O-N-E. And then we counted by 1 10 times, and we had 10. Wrote that T-E-N. We counted by 10 10 times, and we got 100. And we have 100. Whoops, I forgot I did not write 1 there. But then around this time, the students I start asking the students to be looking for patterns. So they, the brighter ones, or the ones who just happen to be paying attention at the moment, started to notice that each time that we multiplied by 10, we gained a 0. We gained a second, or a new space, a new place value, and it was filled in with a 0. So we kept going with this pattern. Now we have 3 zeros, and we are at 1,000. And then we have 10,000. So each time we're adding a new place, and that place is being filled with a 0. Of course, we have commas in these, but that wasn't the focus of today's lesson. 100,000. And then we finally stopped at 1 million. Okay, so then like I said, we talked about how each of these, it was 10 times greater than the one before. It takes 10 ones to make 1 10. So that is 10 times greater. I did have some students say, when I asked, how are these related, they said, well, this one's 9 more than that, that's 90 more than that, that's 900 more than that, and they were going by nines, and that's great if we were talking about addition or subtraction, but this is about place value, so we want to be thinking in tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. So 10 is 10 times greater than 1 because it takes 10 ones to make 1 10. If you count by 10 times, you get 100. If you count by 100 10 times, you get 1,000. If you count by 1,000 10 times, you get 10,000, and so on. Each of these is greater by 10, not by adding 10, but by multiplying 10. At this point, I'm going to need some other colors. So at this point, I asked them to see if they noticed any patterns in the words. And after looking for a little bit, the students started noticing we have 1, 1, 1. 10, 10, and if we kept going, 10. And then 100, 100, and it would keep going 100. So we started to notice there are groups. There are groups of 1, 10, 100, 1, 10, 100, and then these three share the word 1,000. If we kept going, we'd have 1, 10, 100, million, 1, 10, 100, billion, 1, 10, 100, trillion, and so on. But we're only worried up to 1 million. So then, at this point, after all of that, I asked them if they notice any connections between all of this and this drawing that we did at the beginning. After a few minutes, most classes started to notice, well, hey, there is one thing right here, and there's one rectangle up here, so we can put a connection there. There are three groups, or three objects in this group, so we can put that one with this group, and three objects with this group. And so we can once again establish we have our ones place, our tens place, our hundreds place, and then we have the thousands, the millions, and so on. So that is our place value chart. So we'll be using the place value chart. Oh my goodness. We'll be using the place value chart at least for the next few weeks, if not the whole year. But we do want them to understand place value from that perspective, at least if they're not physically using a place value chart all year. Wow. Next thing we did is we talked about just multiplying by tens and hundreds and thousands, because tomorrow, or this week, we're going to be getting into expanded form and word form. So it's important that they understand how to multiply by tens, hundreds, and thousands. For example, I showed them, like, 1 times 1 equals 1, right? So anything that's in the ones place is just going to be that number multiplied by 1. There's just one of that number. So if we have a 2 in the ones place, it's 2. If there's a 5, it's 5. It is what it is. When we get in the tens place, however, we're multiplying by 10. So 1 times 10 is 10. If we have a 2 in the tens place, we have 2 times 10 is 10. And so on with the 100s place and the thousands place. No matter what that digit is, we multiply that digit by the place value that it's in. Moving on. So we can actually break these down, multiplying by 10. I started to point out the fact that, for example, 2 times 1, if we just had 2 times 1, it would just be 2. And here, whoops, I wrote 10 there. That should be a 20. I think you all know that. But anyway, 2 times 1 is 2. And then the 0, it actually represents a place value, the place value up here. The ones place. So we moved this 2 one place to the left to the tens place, while a 0 takes the place of where the 2 was before. So if I were to draw just the ones, tens, and hundreds place, 2 times 1 would just be 2. But if we multiply it by 10, since this, going all the way back to this, since this is 10 times greater than what's to its right, if we put a 2 here, we can't just have 2 and then nothing here, because if you look at that without the place value, it just looks like 2. So we've got to have a 0 take that 2's place, and then that shows that it's 2 times 10, which we know is 20. So this 2 stands for 20, but we use the 0 to show that more clearly. And we keep going, times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10. One of the standards for fourth grade is that students understand on the place value chart that everything one space to the left is 10 times greater, which means obviously that anything to the right one space is 10 times smaller. Let's see if I can wrap this up. So then I started just putting some equations on the board. We continued with this. We had 1 times 10, 1 times 100. They did that all up here. 1 times 1,000, 1 times 10,000, 1 times 100,000, and so on. So then I thought, well, maybe we'll see if they can apply it to other areas. So 10 times 10. Well, this goes back to 1 times 1 right here. This gives us 1. This represents a space or a place on the place value chart. So that gives us a place here that we need to fill in with 0. And then this represents a place on the place value chart, so we need to fill it in with 0. 10 times 10. If we count by 10 times, we're going to get 100. And yes, we should have memorized 10 times 10 is 100. The fourth graders should have that memorized by now too. I'm not trying to take that away by any means, and most of them do have that memorized, so that's good. But they need to know this in order to understand, say, 20 times 10. If they understand this, they can understand this. 2 times 1 is just 2. This is a place value, and this is a place value. So we have 2 spaces here. Fill them in with zeros. 200. That's 2 times 10 is 20. Times 10 is 200. So 20 times 10 is 200. So then we moved on to some even greater numbers. Multiplying 100 times 10, same principle. 1 times 1 is 1. We have 3 place values to fill. So we have 3 zeros. That's 1,000. And obviously, the whole time we want to be thinking about this place value chart. So we had, for 100 times 10, we could write 100 here in this space. But since we're multiplying by 10, we need to shift this whole number one place to the left. So I can't erase this, but we can take this and move. We have 100, but now we've got an empty space, and we need to fill it in with a 0. So 1,000. And you'll notice the 1 is in the thousands place. So we continued. We started adding more and more zeros. So 100 times 100. If you have 100 times 100, you've got it in this area. 1 times 1, once again, is 1. We've got 4 place values behind that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to fill in. So you've got 10,000. 1,000 times 100. You've got 1 times 1 is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We fill those in with zeros. And we're to 100,000. 1,000 times 1,000. That just means we have 1,000 times. We counted by 1,000 times. I do not want to do that. Nobody wants to do that, so we won't. But we can think 1 times 1. That's just 1. And then there are 6 place values. That 1 has been shifted to the left, leaving us with 1 million. And this can be done with any other numbers. For example, we'll move into changing the first digit from 1 to other digits. Same principle. If you have 4,000 times 100, you're just going to think 4 times 1 is 4. And then you have 1, 2, 3 place values, 2 more place values. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 400,000. And some students will start to notice, oh, hey, look, there's 3 zeros here and there's 2 zeros here. So I need 3 plus 2, that's 5. I need 5 zeros after my first digit. And that's fine to think of it that way, but we do always want to know that each of these represents a place value. So this 4 doesn't just stand for 4, it stands for a value of 400,000. And no, you all are probably thinking, that just seems very complicated. Why not just teach them 4,000 times 100 is 400,000? But I promise you, if they understand this from this perspective, if they are always thinking of this place value chart, we don't want them to always have to plug it into the place value chart, but if we want that general understanding in their head, if they are thinking of it that way, everything we do later on this year is going to make a whole lot more sense. All right, I will make another video later this week to go over expanded form, word form, and anything else we may cover. And that's it. See you next time.